Alabama Correctional Fish said, I'm bouncing with this guy that I've been talking to for 2 years. This is like the most stupidest reboot of a Christian mingle ad I've ever seen in my life. Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse podcast. Hey y'all, this is Mr. Fox, the I Refuse podcast. Y'all refuse to let me have a couple of days off. Y'all just keep giving me a lot to come up on here and clown y'all about. So there I was doing my morning workout yesterday. I was on the bike. It was chest and arm day. And, I'm looking at the TV. It's the morning show. I see Gayle King with her hair laid. Usually she gives like bingo fish with some of her hairstyles. But it looked like she was ready to do some work. But anyway, couldn't hear the TV. A lot of shit going on in the gym. And the closed caption was on, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? They're showing footage of this white lady in a sheriff county correctional facility uniform walking down the hall with an inmate behind her. They go through one door, go through a little foyer, and she has the door open to let him follow behind her. And then she goes to the second door. He follows out behind her. And the camera goes outside on the other side of the wall. And she opens the door, the back door casually. And he gets in, still cuffed. Still has the orange tracksuit on. I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm reading the closed caption. Alabama Correctional Facility Fish has apparently been talking to this guy for 2 years. A guy that was convicted of murder. Vicky White is the name of the correctional officer, and Casey White is the name of the inmate. This man got convicted back in 2020 of stabbing and killing a 58-year-old woman. And I was reading the rest of the closed caption, and the reporter was saying, although we have no evidence of any physical relationship, they have been talking for 2 years. So my petty ass mind, I tickle myself sometimes. I said to myself, while I'm on this bike halfway through my workout, if there wasn't a physical relationship before, you best believe Alabama Correctional Facility Fish is getting the dust knocked out of her. So, woo! In an outhouse somewhere in the hills and the mountains and the farmlands of Alabama, best believe. And when you look at the woman, you're like, yeah, everything about the hair and the build, it just gives large Marge, Alabama. But nevertheless, this, up until that point, this story was nothing special. When I tell you, it has been a long tradition for female correctional officers, police officers, women that are in confined spaces with a badge around a bunch of men, for them to get dolled up. I mean, this Vicky lady wasn't. Get dolled up, or, they go in their uniform day in, day out into these places, to these correctional facilities or whatever, and you give them an inch. No pun intended. You give them an inch, and they will make sure their poom poom is wore the fuck out. And, some women, like, I watch Forensic Files, 48 Hours, First 48, 2020, Nightline, all that. This was like a huge deal in the 90s. And it went far back to like the 80s and the 70s, where it's these white women, correctional facility, police officers, sheriffs, whatnot, even when they're like female inmates, pushing up on the male officers. And it's all an angle where it's like the woman who is the correctional officer sees a guy that's attractive or finds a guy attractive and throws her weight around. I'm imagining Vicky White had very little clout or anything, but little liberties. Like, okay, extra time outside for you. You don't have to do the laundry this week. We're going to take you off kitchen duty and we're going to go behind these boxes and, go downtown like SWV. This will go on for a while. And, at some point, the convict, the guy that's in jail, would work the situation to his benefit. Hey, baby, can I get longer hours on the phone? How about some conjugals? Make sure you get this into the jail. Noodles and cigarettes and cigars and blah, 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 blah. And by the way, when I go on TikTok, how did I end up on the jailhouse side of TikTok? But, Correctional Facility Fish, pursuing convicts ain't nothing new. But here is where I was like, Scooby-Doo, like, this Vicky White lady, she only days prior submitted her retirement paperwork after working as Alabama Correctional Facility Fish for 20 years. That was a dumb move. But a month before that, she not only put her house up for sale, but her house sold. And she has like little to no connection really to the city. But she sold her house. She submitted paperwork for official retirement through the state or the county or whatever. But here's the thing. My mind, I'm like, if that was me, and, we all have little fantasies and stuff, like, more power to her for, getting on that, like, but if that were me, I would wait at least 4 to 6 weeks after I submit my retirement paperwork, for it to go through, and at least get a direct deposit set up for my retirement checks before I do the rest of this. Before I take this to the next level, where stupidly we will casually and cavalierly walk up out this jail or, holding cell or whatever, to a government-issued police cruiser that awaits us on the side of the building. Like, this is some real, like, futuristic Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, Bonnie and Clyde type of mess. But it's so dumb because you did it too close to you just recently submitting your retirement paperwork. And just for 20 years. Like, are you aware, Miss Alabama Correctional Facility Fish, that Retiring in 20 years is a sneeze in the bucket. Maybe 1 or 2 tears, because look at where we are right now. Gas is higher than milk. Hell, cereal is higher than milk. People, the last 10 to 15 years that I've been in the government structure, are working well past the retirement age, or at the very least, well past retirement eligibility age. It's just, it just makes more sense. Like, you're able to put more money into your retirement, and you've paid just about everything off after 30 years. The money you make at this point goes right into your pocket. So you can even put more money into your retirement. Long gone are the days we can retire at 20 years of service. You got people that are doing at least 40 years plus and still are full of spry and full of vivaciousness. Alabama Correctional Facility Fish, you only did 20 years. And you didn't even wait for your paperwork, your retirement paperwork, to go through the entire process. Because there's a lot of people that have to look at that. And that stuff not only has to go to like HR, but that stuff has to go through like, I'm sure, other state and federal channels before that you can officially retire. Miss Ma'am, by you doing this, by you, Alabama Correctional Facility Fish, by you doing this clear-cut, recorded, because you on the cameras. And by the way, why does Alabama Correctional Facilities have better quality cameras and footage than the Rofo and the 7-Eleven around the corner? Like, I saw the footage, like I said, I was on the bike and I saw the footage. I was like, this shit is clearer than the NASA cameras. And NASA, all they do is be watching little robot rover shit just live on the other planets. Like, they got you on camera doing this. They got the evidence. They know that's you, because who else is built like that and has their hairstyle like that? And you are in your work uniform in broad daylight, getting into a cruiser that they issued you at your ass. They are going to reject your retirement paperwork. And they got your name and your face and the footage, and it's a government job, county or state or something. So this is going to follow you. This is worse. It just boggles my mind, because it's like, it's not new that, people get to a certain age and they've been working in the government, whatever facet that is. You go in, day out, 20, 30 some odd years, and you are eligible for retirement. And one day, somebody says something to you, you are within a couple of weeks of retiring. This is an anecdote from a place I used to work at. On one of the higher floors, it was two women. One had just did like 40 years of federal government service. Less than 3 weeks away from her last day. Goes to the copier, exchanges words with another woman that's there, and they get to fighting. Alabama Correctional Facility Fish, they got you on tape. And they got your face and the face of your convict person that you're with. Um, you're not going to get far. So although they've ditched the police cruiser, they already have the vehicle information of your vehicle, which I'm sure is the same vehicle you use to go to work every day. Like, come on, like, when you work for state and federal governments and stuff, they got your information. That's part of the orientation package, lady. And they got to be like cracking the heck up over there in Alabama County, whatever county that is. The reward is so low. And you know times are hard right now. Like the reward to catch for information that leads to the both of their captures is only $10,000. Do you know rewards are higher to find kids? Oh, little Timmy. Oh, little Vicky. Little Connor. Amber. $10,000. Listen, I will give you information if I had it for a couple of biscuits and a meal at Longhorn Steakhouse. Like, they are that confident that they're gonna find the both of y'all very soon. And when they got your car information, like the make, the model, pictures, the license plate, you're not gonna make it far. Like the borders are closed. And it's not even love. Like this convict guy, as all convicts tend to do, are only in it to benefit themselves. He'll more than likely milk this to a particular distance, to a particular goal where he could hide out even further and possibly ditch her. Shit, he will probably do even worse. And it's like, ma'am, like, I know you got to be in your 50s. And this is probably the only job you've had for the majority of your life. And y'all ain't even allegedly been physical yet. I mean, leading up to this cavalier walkout of the Alabama Correctional Facility. Like, if I was in that position, I need to experience the merchandise before I commit to sacrificing my livelihood. And you do this during a very crucial time where everything is like thrown off. Like, are you down that bad in Alabama? Or were you down that bad in Alabama? Alabama Correctional Facility Fish? Like, I just don't... Like, the real world is just so unstable at this point to where it is like pondering life and death matters every week just at this point. And you are really going out your way to sacrifice your livelihood and everything for pipe that may not be that good. I mean, the thrill, I'm sure, is what got her. And not a bad looking guy, but still a convicted murderer for allegedly stabbing a 58-year-old woman a couple years ago. Like, girl, you got to operate with one eye open. I give this about a couple of weeks before they're both caught. One of them is caught, and then he turns over on her. It could go any kind of way, but Alabama Correctional Facility Fish, girl, like, there's more to life than sacrificing it all for some orange suit pipe. And how far are you gonna get in a beat up truck anyway? Little red SUV crossover. No tea, no shade, but I had to keep it real. I was on that bike like, what is wrong with the whites today? What is wrong with the whites today? I know it's bad in the country right now, but y'all are really cutting up during this Panasonic. Really cutting up. Um, Golly. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. This is Mr. Fox I Refuse podcast. If you want more exciting content like this, we're on the streaming platforms. We're on 8 streaming platforms. We're also on YouTube, and we got a social media page, Twitter and Instagram. If you've made it this far, you've probably seen something on this side that tells you that information. Get those follows and subscribe, subscriptions up into the channel. We appreciate it. That fuels me even more. I had to get up on here and talk about that. Because that is crazy. Like, it's nothing special when you get up to the point that, it's a correctional officer and a convict, but I have never seen in the history of my life, almost 40 years, where a female correctional officer takes it a step further. So in the house, you do the walk out of the escape days after submitting your retirement paperwork. You didn't even wait for that shit to clear. That's what bothers my. You didn't even wait for that shit to clear. You should have. She should have did what people with like annual 500 hours of annual sick leave, right? What you do is, right, when you are getting close, let's say a month from retirement, and there's probably different notices and stipulations as to how soon you can file or whatever. But put that aside for a little bit. What you do is you convert your annual and your sick leave, or you just attach it to, you take vacation time and you have it lead up to the day that you retire. Put the retirement paperwork in before you take the leave, and sell your house, save that money, put the money aside, set up other means like escape routes, like leave the country, get up out the country, have a seamless. I'm sure you got a cousin that has a boat that can go to plan it out a little bit better. This woman, I just can't. I gotta go. Two days after you file for retirement, your ass wants to leave work with this guy that you ain't even test drive the pipe yet. His pipe yet. Golly. I said, what the Dolores Claiborne, Kathy Bates is going on up and through here? I hope you got a good wig. I really hope you got a good wig from, 2021, something that's not even Alabama adjacent. A good disguise, in a long trench coat to have an sufficient disguise. Cause unless you taking that red car to the railroad tracks and getting on the train, they gonna catch y'all. And y'all gonna be looking a hot ass mess. I can't.